Last year around this time, Chris and I actually bought our first set of rabbits for our homestead, and they were really the beginning mark of our homestead. And today, after a year of raising rabbits, we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, and whether we think it's really worth getting rabbits and adding them to your homestead. Chris is going to go ahead and grab a rabbit now, and while he's doing that, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about us. I'm Danielle, that's Chris, my husband, and we are part of the Split Arrow Farm. We bring new content every week to tell you about how you can start a homestead of your own, and we hope to make so many more of you live a more self-sustaining life and just make a greener, happier place for everyone else. But today we're talking about how rabbits can really start to either add or detract from that mission. And kicking things off, we're going to talk about some of the pros.
So while we have Chubbs out, one of our purebred Californians, let's start talking about some of the pros. So one pro is the New Zealand and Californian are both very cold hardy rabbits. So if you live in a colder state, then you're not going to really have to worry about keeping them outside, and which gives you a lot more flexibility for where you're keeping them. We keep ours in the barn, so as long as it's not below freezing, it's going to be fine for their environment. You provide them a little hay, and they make sure they're out of the wind, and they'll be good. Another pro is it doesn't require much space to take care of rabbits. The cages are relatively small, and you could, even in your house, have them take them out, let them run around the...
There are so many animals walking around us right now.
You got Glenn the turkey trying to figure out what's happening.
We have so many animals.
Another pro is they do not take up much space. So a cage is around 2 feet by 2 feet. With the larger breeding cages being a 3 foot what do we got? It's 4 feet by 2.
Yeah.
Another cage with 4 feet by 2, so that's going to be the breeding female and her kits until they're of age.
I'm going to scare off some of the animals around us while you go over the third pro.
So rabbits are also one of the greenest meat sources, being able to reproduce very quickly and reach full age in just a few short months. They take a very little amount of time and effort other than the acclimation to being people friendly. They only take a couple of food a day, so it's also not going to be breaking the bank to raise these animals.
Another pro that there is with meat rabbits is you are able to yield a high percentage of their meat. So out of a lot of the animals that you might have in your livestock, you're going to be able to get a large amount of that meat to eat. And then not only that, but a lot of the elements of the rabbit are usable, so you can tan the fur to be able to make anything that you want out of that. And the tanning process is relatively easy. We have yet to try it, but I've heard it's very easy. And then another great fact, and I don't know if you said this one yet, but their time period of when they get to be of their growth stage, when you would want to start to harvest them, takes around only 8 weeks, which is one of the fastest turnaround times. There is the Cornish cross chickens, which are also really fast, but I would say for the cost of feed, the cleanliness of the animal, they're way cleaner than Cornish cross.
Yeah, smell a lot less.
Smell a lot less. And they're just like easier to care for overall. I would choose these over them.
Well, this guy's molting, so I'm gonna put him back in there. Now I got a bunch of his hair off, and we'll get into the cons.
So while Chris is taking back Chubbs into our cage, I am going to talk about some of the cons because there are a few that you might want to think about. So what is really nice about rabbits is if you do live in an apartment space or a smaller space, you can actually keep rabbits in there. They don't make much noise and they're relatively clean, although they do have a very strong scent or stench. They do need to have their trays cleaned out pretty often, and that's him. And when you do clean them out, they can have a really strong ammonium scent in their urine. So you can offset that with things like apple cider vinegar, but you're going to notice that there is a really strong scent and it's not always the best. Oh, here's one of our chickens. Another con is going to be that there is a lot of time that you need to spend taking care of them. So we talked about making sure that you're doing daily feedings, which is a great way to actually get closer to your rabbits, but it does make it a little bit harder. It's harder to do an automatic feeding system when you do have the older rabbits that maybe you want to keep as your breeding stock. It's fine for all of the young kids. They are looking to grow out, but when you're trying to breed them, you will need to make sure that you are kind of cutting them off of food or they'll probably keep on eating. And another con is that, what was the next con? Oh,
part of the maintenance, cutting the nails is sometimes very difficult. You definitely want to use gloves because you're going to get scratched up for the unruly type that don't want their nails cut. But it's going to be better for them in the long run to not have those extra hook nails or getting caught and cut. And wood blocks are definitely a plus to help with the grinding down of the teeth so that you don't get a solid bite.
Yeah, and along that, we have found within our research that rabbits do tend to get pretty sick. So because you're keeping them for a longer time, especially your breeding pairs, they can get sick. There's a lot of different sicknesses that they can get. A lot of them you can remedy yourself and you don't need a veterinarian, which is really nice, but it is something that you do have to watch out for as you are caring for these animals. So something that is kind of a con in our book as well. To finish off this episode, we want to talk about whether we think rabbits are a great addition to a homestead or not. So Chris, what do you think?
I say 2 thumbs up. They're very easy to maintain. They're cute and they're not hard to keep around. So I think they're a beneficial first animal on your homestead. If not a chicken, a rabbit for sure.
Definitely agree with you. When we were first starting to do our research on homesteading, it was really weird because Chris wanted the rabbits the most, I would say, and he did a lot of hunting, and it is not always easy to find the rabbits in the breeds that you want, which is also another con. But once you do find those rabbits and you're able to get them, I think that they're a wonderful addition to your homestead. They've been a really great animal to help raise. They're super great with kids and super friendly, fun to hold, cute to look at, and they make a delicious meal. So with that, we're gonna go make sure to tend to some of our chickens who are being a little clingy right now. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Take care. Let's do it. Max, why are you always chasing the chicken?
What's going on?
Ay, ay, ay.